Good afternoon, everybody. Let me just hand you over to Dave. And turn that around like that. Move this. It looks like Mikey. Today we're going to be doing zip tray pouches. You might want the light on, yes. I'm a bit of a dither today. I don't know what it is. I get dithery, so I'm a dithery person today. So we're going to be making zip pouches, zip tray pouches. I started making them, and I've seen them on Instagram a couple of times and thought, oh, they're really cool, I'd like to make one of those. So I started having a fiddle and I started making them, and bits of it work and bits of it doesn't. We will go through all the bits that do and don't as we go through. Is there somebody there?
Yes, Sheila Woodcock is there.
Hiya, Sheila Woodcock. I can't see through my glasses. We've been basting 2 quilts today, and when I left the workroom, you couldn't see from one end to the other because of the glue, and I think I've got like a sheen of glue over my glasses. I certainly got it all over my skin and everywhere. I feel sticky. So, zip trays. So they're a nice square thing for you to carry your stuff around in. And then when you unzip it, it becomes a tray. So you'd be able to carry your bits in there. No, that wouldn't work. They're too long. So you carry all your bits, and then when you get to your workshop, you can open it, and all your Frixion pens and your small ruler and all your clips and things could be in there. Now, like I say, there were a couple of things that design-wise didn't really work for me, and I haven't quite written the pattern, so I went with somebody else's pattern so that I had something to show you. But this is mine. This is the one that I will perfect eventually, and as you can see, I've put a couple of cam snaps on. Can't get too many cam snaps, so your long zip is all cammed so that when you open it up, I've also cam snapped the corners, because when it closes there was too much space for it to fall out. So I'm really happy with this one now. Okay, now that I can clip it up and close it. So the one we're going to look at today, with all my witter in, the one we're going to look at today is this one by a lady who calls herself, thank you, So Can She. All right, so it's a free download. You can download it on a PDF version for £2. I think it was £2 or $2, which would be even cheaper. And it's a really good version. You can really it's really good in understanding. She came up with a few of the things that I didn't quite get. So this is hers, and as you can see, this is a little bit smaller than mine. I'm not known for going small. I always make mine a lot bigger. When I first started sewing again, way back, I made my nan a trolley bag, a Zimmer bag, and I made it so big, and she filled it so much that she couldn't lift the Zimmer. I also made a shoe tidy which took over the whole porch. We could put all our shoes in, and a small hobbit family as well. So this one cam snapped again. There are other patterns on there where they use an open zip. Well, we actually don't sell open zips, so this works really well. and you can see that it opens for you to put all your bits in, okay, all your small bits that you take to class. So she downloads a pattern piece. Now the only pattern piece that you really need is the end piece, which she'll give you. You can download that, and that's it. That's the only pattern piece. The rest of it is measured. Okay, so you've got an 8.5 by 8.5 squares for your main body. Then it's a 2 inch by 17 inch twice for to go on your zip, and then your end pieces, you want the inner and an outer twice, which is this piece. Okay, then you also want your zip tag to go on the bottom. All right, so I'll show you how to do that. Now we're going to, you start with the body. All right, now I've already gone through and sewn around the outside. It's a 1/4 inch, and as quilters know what a 1/4 inch is, a 1/4 inch all the way round, leaving a 4 inch gap. Okay, is there anybody there before I go on any further?
There's tons of people here.
Tons of people.
Tons
Hi,
of people. There's, I'm just flicking through now, Linda Head, Sean Morse.
What you done? What you done? There you go.
Linda Head, Sean Morse, Angela Seymour, Joanne Cole, Marilyn Thomas.
Hi everybody. Any questions so far?
I don't know. We haven't got there yet.
Right. So we've...
Oh, it's done it again.
Well, stop pressing the button. Has it done it now? Is it back?
I'm not looking anymore.
See that little one there that looks like a camera with the arrows? That's the bit that turns it round.
Okay.
See? Drew taught me something.
Where do you get cam snaps from?
Cam snaps. You can get them off Amazon. I think I probably bought mine from Amazon. There's a good chance I bought them from Wish. I do a lot of Wish shopping in the middle of the night. As long as you wait 2 weeks for it, it's okay. Some of the things are a bit hit and miss, but you know, I've had some good stuff from there. But Amazon probably, I'm a bit of an Amazon shopper. I was going to say another word, but I'm not sure I can do that if we're going to put it on YouTube. So
So you can get them in a lot of places.
Yes, you can get them in a lot of places.
So basically, type it into Google and they'll find it.
Mine is called Mona. Okay, Cam Snaps is the name of it, and somebody brought their Cam Snaps in.
Or if you know
Catherine,
yeah, because Linda's just said Catherine's
Catherine's
got Cam Snaps.
She's got Cam Snaps, and when we actually opened up everything in it, they are exactly the same. In fact, I've got more colours than her. No. But they're exactly the same. There was no difference. So I think they're all made by the same person. It's a bit like Weetabix. Weetabix are all made by the same people. It's just that Asda's put them in their own, or Tesco's, and other supermarkets are available. Okay, so those are the ones I've used. We can do a lesson on Cam Snaps one week, if you like.
You could have a guest teacher. Catherine Lum could go in as a guest teacher.
Couldn't she? Yes. When we're up and running, we'll do a whole workshop on Cam Snaps, and Catherine can give us a lesson. Right, you're going to cut off your corners. So you're going to cut them off like that, all the way round.
What are you doing now?
It's so that when you poke it, there's not so much fabric in your corner when you're poking it back out. Okay, so where's my O? So we're going to turn this round.
And he just asked, what are can snaps?
Cam snaps. Cam snaps are snap buttons. So they're poppers, but they're plastic poppers. I mean, you can get metal ones, but you need a better tool because you need to be able to get your weight behind it for
The metal ones.
For the metal ones. When I went and did the corset class, we used metal.
Apparently, and Catherine's free to do the lesson as well.
Did Linda just say that she was, or did Catherine say she was?
Catherine said she was.
Well, that's all right then. I didn't know whether Linda was just going to volunteer her into that. Okay, so you can see your hole there. You want to make sure that your 1/4 inch is folded down. I would finger press that in place before you take it to your trusty iron. And iron it out.
That's a handy little thing.
Isn't it? Isn't it just? I think this is it's a silver crest, so that would be Lidl's or Aldi's?
Product placement all the time.
All the time, yes.
I was actually talking about the pad.
My little pad? Yeah. I love my little pad. Look, mine's even got my name on it, look. How cool's that? People who came to the class, they all applicate their initial onto it.
What class?
The cut and press board class. We might do that as a Zoom class. That's what I've been told. Okay, so we're using Bosal. Now you can get other fusible foams. We just happen to have Bosal in the shop. Okay, so I've cut it out as per the instruction, and I've cut out, I can't even remember what size they are, 1.5 by 1.5 inches by 7 3/4. No, 1 3/4 inches. Did I cut it out at 1 3/4 or did I cut it out? No, I cut it out at not quite 1 3/4. That might be why they're too small. Right, so you
follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions. You've got to read the instructions, okay? Don't wing it like I do. So these are 1 3/4 by 7 3/4, and then you have 2 of those for the outside, and then 2 strips which are 2 inches by 7 3/4. Now I got those right because 2 inches is a lot easier to do. So you're going to take your 1 3/4 inch and you're going to shove it through the hole to the side. Okay. Now, if you can, you want to try and get it so that it sort of sits flush. So you're just going to prod it into the corner like this. Now with mine, I put the foam on first onto the outer piece. I placed it on and then ironed it down, which to me was actually a little bit easier. You could see where it was all going to go. So I'm going to push that into there. Okay, so that's all pushed in like that. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. I'm obviously wittering properly.
Yeah, they're interested in the cut and press board. I say they. The viewers.
The viewers?
The viewers are interested in the cut and press board.
Okay, that one seems a little bit long, so you take it back out and chop a bit off.
Does it have to go in one way up? Does it stick on both sides? Or?
No, it's fusible on both sides, so we're able to just put it in, and then as you iron the whole thing again,
it all sticks.
It will all stick. So going to take a bit more off that one. Now you just want to put them in there so that they're placed evenly. And you'll see why it's all done in 4 pieces in a moment. Right, so you're going to tuck this one over like that. And back to your press board. I can feel the glue on my fingers. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a, try and get it to fuse a little bit, hold it down. When you're happy with the placement, now you should be able to feel the channels. There should be enough gappage between those. You take your iron and you just iron it down. Of course, the longest train ever is about to go past. Oh no, short one today. The coal trucks, when they were going to Aberthaw, were always the longest. There was always about 23 trucks on them.
Not 24, not 22, but 23.
Right, okay. So you're going to iron on both sides because it's fusible on both sides. So you need to okay, which makes it nice, and you can then see the gaps better. Mind the gap. Okay, so we've got a better gap down that side than that one. Okay, now you can, where you've got your opening, you can top stitch that, but you're actually going to be putting, that's the bit where you're going to sew your side piece in. So you could leave it. We're going to try that this time rather than having so many bits. So you're now going to take this over to the sewing machine. Let's put that back in the middle so that I know where the needle is. You're going to find your channel now. I've pushed that one too close really. So you're going to find your channel. I mean, if need be, you could sew that, draw your Friction pen down it.
Is bows all fusible on both sides, or can you get one that does on one side and one on both
I
sides?
would imagine you could get single-sided fusible, but we actually stock
It's just that
double.
Susan Ann Harrison has just said her bowsel is only fusible on one side.
Right. It won't really matter because you're going to sew it in now. If you get it to fuse on one side, we're gonna sew the channels in now. I'm going to take my stitch up a little bit.
So it's not going to move anyway once you've sewn it?
No, once you've sewn it, it's not going to move anywhere. I think all of it would be okay if it was just fusible on one side. Just hoping I've got the channel on this. There we go. Right, I'll try and always remember to lock stitch, because then I can just cut all the ends off. I haven't got to worry about sewing them in, because I use lazy like that. Yeah. Okay, so we're going up the little gap.
You're going up the valley?
Going up the valleys. Okay. And back again. There's a story about the Mind the Gap in London. There's a love story. I will try and remember it for next time. Something about a lady's husband always did the announcement, you know, when the gentleman used to say "Mind the gap" as you got off the tube. and he died. And then they decided they wanted to change it. Is it for a woman? Another voice? And she was quite upset. So on her tube station, they left it as her husband so that she could hear her husband's voice every day. Right, now you can see, now I've done the channels, you can see that it bends quite nicely.
Do you need fusible on both sides for the round baskets you made a few weeks ago? They're out there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Do I need it? No. No, didn't we do you fused it to the inside and sewed that, and it was nice. The fusible, because it fused on the lining one, it gave it a very smooth finish, and then the outside.
The sewn.
I don't think it. No, it could be. It would be fine to do it singly. Yeah, you dropped it into the outside. You dropped it in, like a bag. So a single is perfect. Perfect. Get making them, Susie.
That was Nikki England.
Ah. Yes, and you, Nikki, get making them. And then send me pictures so that I can see them. Okay.
Hi, Cindy.
Right, which bit's next? Your tab. We're going to do the tab.
What tab?
The
zip tab.
The zip tab. This zip tab. Okay. So this one is 2 inches by 3.5. And what you're going to do is you cut the bosal, which is smaller. It gives you your 1/4 inch all the way round, and you're going to fuse it to one side. Okay, and then you're going to fold it in half, right sides together. I'm using batik for most of it, so there is very often no right side or wrong side on that, which is one of the reasons
Useful.
that I like it. Yes. And so I'm going to put my 1/4 inch on so that I can just sew. Okay, so I'm going to sew down, leaving the open side open. Okay.
What does that mean?
Where you folded it,
Mm-hmm.
You've got a fold on one end and an open bit on the other. So you would leave that bit open. So you're just going to sew round 3 sides. Probably only need to sew actually down the 2 open sides and not the other
folded
bits.
side.
Hang on. So you had it 3 inches, 3.5 inches, and you folded it in half.
Mm-hmm.
You probably only need to sew down these, but I've gone all the way round.
It makes it neater.
It will. I'm going to trim that off because of misplacement. Like that. And then you're going to trim your corners once again.
Because you're poking it.
Because I'm going to be poking it. And then you're going to turn it round the right way. Now you could top stitch it, I guess, but you're going to sew it. I think I top stitched mine as part of the sewing it on. Okay, so I have poked it out like that, and I have an open end. Now, the bit that is already fused, if you bend that over and fuse your seam allowance, you know, your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I haven't really, I think I didn't put my my bosal square in quite the right place, so I haven't got a lot to play with. It's not working. It doesn't matter. It won't matter. I sort that after. Okay, but don't fuse the other side because you're going to want to pop your zip end in there. So we've done that bit. Now I've done one side, so I'll just show you the other. Now the angled bit is the top. Okay, so you're going to leave your bottom. You're going to leave a bit open.
The top of the bag box.
It's going to be that bit there. See, the angled bit is the bit on the top. Okay. Now, I'm not sure whether I would interface one side, you know, put some interfacing on it. It actually works quite well opening, and I don't think it needs to be stiff. With one of my boxes I put Bosal in it, the other one I put wadding in, but this one has got nothing in it, and I don't think it is any different really.
So it just depends on the fabric you're using.
It depends on the fabric you're using. This batiks is new in the shop. Look at that one, it's just so pretty. Look at it. So they're new, but the 100% cottons that we're using for quilting and that are slightly thicker than these batiks, and you probably would find it better stability. So, you know, we'll soon find out because I've used one of the linen textures that I had knocking about for my insides. So over to the machine again, and we're on the 1/4 inch. So you're gonna just knock it back a bit, and you're going to come to the corner. Come to the corner. So what have you got planned this weekend? I've got the weekend off. I've got Friday, Saturday and Sunday where I'm off, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. My plan was to lie comatose in the garden, but I think it's going to be a bit cold. So I had sewing magazines for my birthday from my husband, and I'm hoping to cut this one out. So I've got a stash of, I'm going to make that dress one day. So that's the new one.
You've had a downfall on your sewing machine.
A downfall? Oh, yeah. I'm not quite sure what I was going to do with that. Pincushion, I think.
So these sizes.
Yes.
These sizes are all on the pattern.
Yes, the size of the bottom is on here.
So Sandra Hatton's asking about it, but it's all within the.
But it's all here. See all your cutting out instructions, and she's done brilliant instructions on, you know, a lot more comprehensive than I've been wittering away here. So again, trim my points aren't very square at the top. Not square, pointy. Okay, so we're going to turn this one inside, right side out. Give it a bit of a poke.
I can see that you've got different size bags. Does the pattern allow for different size bags?
This one doesn't. Who's asked that?
No, I've just
You've
asked.
You've just asked. These ones are ones that I made. I made this up.
Off your own design?
Yes. By looking at
other things and
adapting. You know, the one that I wanted to do had an open zip, and I couldn't do that one. It was also a bought pattern, and as I didn't have an open zip, right, it's supposed to look like that, okay? not like that, like that. So yeah, but I haven't written the pattern, so instead of writing the pattern, I found this lady's, so that if they want to go away and make it today, they could get hold of a pattern. So we're just talking through this one. Right, so we have the ends. Now you can top stitch along the top, which would then give it a sharper edge, but because of time restraints, I'm not going to do that. We're going to move on to the next bit then would be your zip before you start putting it all together, okay? Now she's asked for an 18-inch zip. I think mine is a lot longer, but I'm going to show you how we get round that.
Got zips in the shop though?
Yeah, we've got zips in the shop. Again, I think I got mine from somewhere else. Before we've started doing zips in the shop, but we have all sorts of lengths in the shop, so you could make this shorter if you wanted to. Now you can see on the zip that it's got a little...
Can't really see.
No?
No.
Little plasticky bit, which is the stopper. Now I'm going to cut it at the stopper there, okay, because I don't want all of that zip.
Right. Stopper, it's difficult to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the stopper is
yes,
when you
where the stops
where
the
it
zip.
stops. Yes. I had visions of that popping off then. So no, I can't get it open now. Okay. In the pattern, the lady puts the zip into the edge so that it curves down, but I didn't want to do that, so I've changed it a little bit. I wanted to show you about the binding. Now, because this is straight, you don't need to cut this on the bias. You just cut it like we would binding for a quilt. It's 2 inch. You iron it in half, open it out, then you iron the side to meet that crease in the middle. Okay, so you would then...
Again, you're using batik, so it doesn't really... there's not a right side.
There isn't a definite right side and wrong side, and I would imagine if you looked at it hard enough. I can't seem to... So you're going to go along and you just iron your crease in. All the way along. Like this. And then you fold it back so that you now have your binding. Give that another little press, because the crease that you put in first, the one in the middle, will have slipped a bit where you've ironed it straight. There you go. Okay. Then on one end you want to fold it down just by, a small amount. And just want
less than 1/4 inch.
About 1/4 inch, yeah. Okay.
Linda's just called you a batik queen.
Oh, queen! I like that. That wasn't the word that I was looking for, but yeah, I do tend to collect batiks. We've had some new ones in as well, of which you can see some of them.
We step over the dog a minute.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to tuck my end underneath my fold over. So I've opened it back out so that you can see where the folds into the middle are, and then I've folded the top over so that I've got a tidy end. I'm going to fold that and tuck it under like that. We'll trim up the edge after, and then you're just going to fold that over like that. And I'm going to stick a clip on it to hold it. Now you want to tuck your zip in so that the teeth are sticking out, but you've covered the zip. Now I'm going to have a look at mine and see whether or not we can use the zippity-doo-dah. No, it's not a zippity-doo-dah, it's a zippity-doo-dun. The zippity-doo-dun. Which you wouldn't then need to do your binding like this. You could just decorative stitch it to the bag. Okay, so I'm going to go along and I'm going to clip all this on. Like this.
They're handy little clips, aren't they?
They are. I've got some more coming, I think. These are all I've got, and I never have quite enough. And of course you put them down and you lose them.
Could you not just pin it?
Yeah, you could pin it. You could pin it. Clipping is, and I have plenty of pins. So, all the way down. Now you can see my binding doesn't quite reach the end of my my zip. But we're going to sort that now in a minute. Okay, so you're going to come down here. Now you don't need to fold this end because that's the bit that's going to end up in the zip tab. So now, cop, move your bum, no. I'm going to change this now to the zip zip foot. Now I'm going that way. So I'm going to leave it on the 1/4 inch, and I'm going to put my, you can see on a zip foot, you've got it on either side. I think that's so that I can do what I'm going to do this time, but we shall see. I'm going to put it to the right hand side because I'm going to sew on the right hand side. Normally with a zip you seem to put it on the left. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to take that one off there. We're going to put this under. So I've left my needle in the 1/4 inch. I've moved it over so that it's on the 1/4 inch. It means that the needle, I mean, there's gaps in the foot if you want to leave it in the central, I think. So I've moved it over so you can see that it's going to come almost. Let's see if we can move it over a bit. So you want to just top stitch it. That wasn't very neatly done, was it? Can you see where I'm going quite close to the edge? You're going to sew it another twice, getting it onto the. Okay. So you just go down and sew it onto your zip. Now, there is a way of putting binding on where you open it out and sew it so that you don't actually see the stitching, because you fold it back over, which hides all the stitching. But in this case, you can just make a feature of it. Make sure. And the nice thing about you ironing it and doing it yourself, you know that it meets. Okay, so there you go, you've got that sitting on there quite nicely, and it's sewn on the back. Not very straight, but it is sewn. You're not going to see that bit, and I can still close my zip. Doesn't that make it look neat? I like that. Oh, you could do that on a dress, couldn't you? Okay, so this then, you need to put your end on. So you can see they don't meet, but that doesn't matter because I'm just going to chop it off. Now you have to be careful. Some zips are metal and some, like this one, are nylon. So these ones are easy to cut with your scissors. If you've got a metal zip that you're putting in, you might want to either have exactly the right length or use proper snips. This bit now is going to sit in there. So really, this should be all folded down nice and neat. Like that. And you're going to shove that into there, and then you're going to sew around. I would go over this bit, the bit that goes over the zip. I would probably do that more than once, but go all the way around and you get a nice border around it, and it makes it quite firm and neat. Okay, but we're not going to do that because of time. Oh. Okay, don't do that. Okay, I've just done that. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get it on or not, but really, Sarah? That's because I was looking at the time at the same time. Really? Oh well, it wouldn't be one of my things if it didn't all go wrong with it. Okay, so we're gonna I've gone all hot and bothered again now.
What are you doing there now?
Right, I've just clipped it so that it stays together like it's supposed to.
Okay. Because
I need to show you the next bit. This is your outside. You're going to work out where your zip would be. So this is the end. So it would go on this in this direction. So you're going to put this so that this goes, the zip goes to the end like that. Okay, you could sew, I haven't caught that very well either. You could sew this side here. What?
The thing I was just saying. Oh. No, I was just.
Okay. So you're going to pin or clip. See, this is where you wish that you had more than one. I've probably lost people. Have they all gone for lunch now?
No, a lot more have come in now for the comedy.
Oh dear. Right. You're going to sew this. I'm not going to put this zip on because it's
naff.
It's broke now. I'm going to have to do another one. So what you would do is you would sew all the way down there to sew that your zip on. You can see where the teeth are over the edge. So you want those to stick out maybe 1/4 inch up. And you're going to sew along the top to sew it to this. I would probably sew it on this side, down there. And then you want to also top stitch on the bottom, which sounds weird. Top stitch on the bottom so that your
zip.
Yeah, your binding is
nice and tight.
Yeah, close. See, because I've done that now, I'm brain blah blah blah. Okay, so your zip is sewn on. You're going to take your bottom piece, your side piece.
Your bottom side piece.
Yeah, your bottom side piece. I'm going to do it on the side that's open. You're going to put the bottom of your side piece, so the flat piece, lining sides together with the bottom, and you're going to put it in the middle. Okay, and pin it down. Right, you might want to come on the other side.
I'll come on the other side now.
Okay.
At least the dog's gone. He's back.
Right, I've got my 1/4 inch on. You're going to sew it onto your bottom. So you're going to come in a little bit so that you don't start right on the end of your end piece. Why is there an alarm going?
Can you hold on to that a minute?
Best laid plans by some men, eh? Right, we're back. Okay, so you can take it. I've sewn almost to the end. Then you're going to take your pin out, and you're going to pull this round, because what you want to leave your needle in. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, I know. And you want to pull it so that this bit comes to here.
Wow.
So, I know. Now, you could probably, it's not really, it's not going really well, is it? Right, what we're going to do is we're going to put a lock stitch there. So what you want to do is you want to get this to there. Everybody's going, now, I'm not making that. Okay.
No, they're not.
No,
No.
no.
No. They're just glad that this happens to other people, not just them.
Okay. See, I think that's why you need to keep the needle in, is so that it's
You don't have a hole in the corner.
Yeah, you don't have a hole in the corner. Okay. You never know. This lady, when she gets all her these people downloading, will come back and go, well, if you'd have done it like this. Right, bearing in mind you've got your zip on this as well at this point. When I made mine, I put these bits in first and then tried to get the zips on, and that really is difficult to try and get the zips on. It seemed to go okay on the one side, but not on the other. So then you go to your other end, clip it in place. No, you don't need to clip it in place. It's going to get in the way otherwise. And you just sew down there. Have there been any other questions? Like, what the hell are you doing?
No, Deb Cook says every time she tries to put a zip in, it goes very, very wrong.
I do like the idea of that binding, because you don't actually need to put the zip in then. You could just sew it on the top. So, that would be your end. Okay? And then you would repeat on the other side. Now, I'm going to hurry this up now because we're getting to the end. And I've whittled on for far too long. Next time I'll have more steps.
Poppers.
Poppers. The poppers. Right. Where's my tab? Cam snaps. The cam snap can either go very right or very wrong. What are we going to go for? You have an outside, an outie and an innie.
A bit like belly buttons.
Yeah. You have an outie and an innie, a male and a female. Alright, now I tend to put the male, when I do them, I tend to put the male on the bit that you move in the most. So you would just, I mean, there is a dowel no. What's a pokey tool called?
A pokey tool is a good idea.
Rowel. Dowel. They use them in work when they're engineers, don't they? Right. So you push your shiny bit on. All. That's it.
Thank you, Christine.
That's all I need.
I'm not a carpenter, so I don't use
One of them.
And I'm not a carpenter, so I don't use awls.
Can you?
No.
You shove holes in anything?
No, I drill holes in
drill
things.
holes. Right. So this is the tool that comes with it. Your flat shiny bit will go with the black there, and the other bit on under the clear bit, on mine anyway, and you just squash.
Do you have to make a noise when you're doing it as well?
Only when you're on your own. Okay, and that then is your male bit. Now the other bit I put in the bottom like that, so that my female bit is sticking there, comes out the bottom, because when you've done it all up, you have a handle.
A handle?
A handle. Okay. Right, that's me wittering on and everything. Is there any questions?
We haven't got any questions that's come up. Nothing.
You mean I covered everything?
You covered everything.
Beautifully.
Everything. You covered all points. You were wonderful.
Now on mine, you can see there, it folds. It folds in on itself. And I thought, if you're going to carry along your anything small...
Would you do me a favour and put the lid on the cam box, please?
The dogs would love it.
Yeah.
So I put another cam snap in there. Okay. And if you're going to do that, I would put interface in at least on the place where you're going to put your cam snap.
So the ends is better without anything in the centre. You know what I mean? No bosal on the ends.
Yeah, I mean the bosal. This one had bosal, and it does close, but you can see that there's still. I would still put a cam snap on that one, I think, so that it stays shut. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I will carry on writing the pattern for the bigger one. Okay.
So it will go on the website.
It will go on the website, but I will put the link up for so can she, because it's a good site. There are other things there as well. She does free sewing patterns, and if you like to fiddle like I do and do little things, then it's worth having a look. Okay. You can also look it up. It's a Japanese pen case. So that's me. I'm out. I've not talked this long for ages. So I hope you're still with us. Take care. See you soon. Bye.